There are seasons in a man's life when everything appears lost, when failure seems final, and every voice whispers that it's over. But I tell you, it is in this darkness that destiny begins its work. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. There is a law that governs all of life. Nothing is ever destroyed. It is merely prepared for transformation. The soil must break before the seed can grow. The man must fall before he can rise. And right now, life is breaking you open only so that it can rebuild you stronger. You have been measured, tested, and stretched to your limit, but you have not been defeated. The pain you feel is not punishment. It is instruction. Every disappointment, every closed door, every sleepless night has been chiseling you into the kind of man who cannot be broken again. When the world turned its back, when you were left alone with your doubt, a new voice was born inside you. A voice that said, "Not yet." That voice is the sound of your comeback. The world does not yet see it, but the tide has already begun to turn in your favor. I want you to understand something powerful. Every man who ever rose to greatness, Ford, Edison, Carnegie, met the same moment you face right now. A moment when the world said, "Quit," and their soul said, "Rise." This is that moment for you. You do not need permission. You do not need applause. You need only a decision to stand up again. For a single thought of defiance, held with faith, is stronger than 1,000 regrets. Your future is not waiting for better conditions. It is waiting for a better command. The same force that carried you through your darkest night now gathers strength behind you. Every setback has become a springboard. Every wound, a weapon. Every delay, a hidden preparation. The time you thought was wasted was the training ground for the life you asked for. Listen carefully. Your comeback will not announce itself with fanfare. It will arrive quietly, through your persistence, through your refusal to give up, through the fire that now burns in your eyes. And when it comes, the world will not believe how quickly you rose, because they never saw how deeply you prepared. You are about to witness what happens when a man refuses to stay fallen. You are about to prove that faith, when mixed with decision and desire, can rebuild anything. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your return. Your greatest chapter begins now. There are seasons in every life when all that once felt certain dissolves into question. When the plans that promised reward collapse and the road that seemed straight vanishes into fog. It is in such moments that most men believe they are finished. But the truth, the eternal truth, is this: nothing in life is ever destroyed. It is only being rearranged for your advancement. When a storm tears through the forest, it does not kill the soil. It nourishes it. When fire consumes the mountain, it clears the way for richer growth. And when failure comes to a man, it burns away the weakness that would have ruined him at the summit. Every breakdown is the unseen hand of destiny reshaping you for greater things. This is the law of rhythm. The tide recedes only to return. The seed must be buried in darkness before it rises toward light. Every defeat is a cycle in motion, an ebb before the flow, a rest before the rise. The wise man does not curse his low seasons, he studies them. He asks not, "Why am I here?" but rather, "What law is working through me now?" The truth is that every great life turns at the point of apparent ruin. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy 5 times before building the motor that moved the world. Edison failed 10,000 times before the first light burned steadily. Lincoln was defeated in election after election before the people saw in him the calm, resolute faith of leadership. These men were not chosen because they never fell. They were chosen because they refused to stay fallen. If you have known failure, if you have been stripped of pride, misunderstood, or left behind, count yourself fortunate. For life has deemed you worthy of refinement. You are being trained for strength, not comfort. A man who has not suffered has not yet been tested, and a man untested cannot yet be trusted with greatness. In these moments of breaking, life removes all that is false. It removes dependence on applause. It silences the noise of vanity. It strips away the illusion that success is born from luck or approval. What remains is truth, pure, indestructible truth, that all power begins within thought. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Every sleepless night, every door that closed, every betrayal was the chisel shaping your character into something precise, something unshakable. The same blows that seemed to shatter you were in fact sculpting you. You ask, why must I endure this? Because only through loss can a man be taught what matters. Only through silence does he learn to hear his own voice. Life is not breaking you down, it is breaking you open, so that the power within can find room to expand. I have watched many men rise and fall, and I tell you plainly, the distance between ruin and rebirth is one decision. The decision to believe that what you endure has meaning, that somewhere within this pain lies instruction. The moment you accept that idea, not as poetry, but as law, you will feel the first spark of peace return. The one who rebuilds does not begin with wood or steel. He begins with belief. For faith is the foundation upon which all comebacks are built. The mind that holds faith in the midst of darkness becomes the lamp that guides itself, and that lamp is never extinguished. Take this moment and see it differently. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. Every element of your life that seems against you is now in secret service to your development. The same force that allowed you to fall will raise you higher once you obey its rhythm. When Ford stood in debt, he did not curse his failure. He studied it. He learned why his ideas were unready and improved them. Edison's assistants begged him to quit after years of darkness. He smiled and said, "I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that will not work." Lincoln, despised and doubted, learned patience until patience became his weapon. These men learned that delay is not denial, it is direction. And so it is with you. Every disappointment is a detour to discipline. Every fall teaches balance. Every loss forces the rediscovery of purpose. When you understand this law, fear loses its grip. For what once looked like punishment now appears as preparation. Sit with a pen and paper and write each failure you have faced. Next to it, write what it taught you: courage, humility, endurance, faith. You will discover that even your pain paid dividends. The act of writing transforms confusion into clarity. You reclaim authorship over your own story. Repeat quietly, I am not falling apart. I am being refined. My struggle is my signal to rise. Say it until you feel it. For words repeated with faith imprint themselves upon the subconscious, and the subconscious obeys without question. You will begin to see your situation differently. The burden that once seemed unbearable will become a teacher. The fear that once paralyzed you will become your fuel. When a man stops asking, "Why me?" and begins asking, "What for?" the comeback begins. This is the moment that separates the drifter from the thinker, the defeated from the destined. The drifter blames chance. The thinker studies cause. The defeated man curses loss. The destined man learns from it. And every law of success, from desire to faith to persistence, begins here, with the realization that you are never a victim of circumstance, but a student of law. If you were broken, it means you were strong enough to be remade. If you were delayed, it means you were being prepared for something requiring more precision. The only true tragedy is to stop before the lesson is learned. Now, breathe deeply. Inhale the awareness that everything you have suffered has meaning. Exhale the idea that you were ever abandoned. For infinite intelligence wastes nothing, not even your tears. You are standing at the threshold of transformation. The door before you does not open outward, it opens inward. Your outer life will change only when your inner belief changes. Before a man rebuilds his world, he must first rebuild his mind. A man may lose fortune, home, position, or companions. Yet if his mind remains disciplined, he has lost nothing permanent. For thought is the first cause of all creation. It is the architect behind every empire, invention, and miracle ever known to man. When a man learns to govern thought, he regains dominion over all that seemed lost. The true comeback begins not with action, but with the reconstruction of the mind. Everything you see around you was first an idea in someone's mind. The bridge was once a thought. The city was once a dream. Even the greatest fortunes were built first within imagination. Therefore, if your world has collapsed, it can be rebuilt the same way it was first created, by deliberate thought. The destruction you see outside yourself is only a reflection of disorder within. Correct the cause, and the effects will follow. No man rises higher than his dominant thought. It matters not how strong his body, nor how vast his opportunity. If he carries defeat in his mind, life will obediently produce defeat. But if he plants faith and determination in his mind, circumstance will bend itself to his purpose. The mind is a mirror of your belief, reflecting in matter what you hold in spirit. You must begin this reconstruction as a master builder begins his craft, with a clear design, steady patience, and unwavering faith. The first task is purification. You cannot build a new palace upon the ruins of old fear. You must clear the debris of resentment, self-pity, and doubt. These emotions block the natural flow of creation. The subconscious mind cannot build upon confusion. Each morning before you meet the world, pause for 5 minutes of deliberate command. Sit upright and speak with conviction to your inner self. I am the master of my thought. I command my mind to hold only what serves my purpose. I release all fear, for faith alone shall direct me this day. Speak these words not as hope, but as order. You are training the subconscious mind, which obeys authority, not pleading. Each night before sleep, reflect with honesty. What did I think today? Did my thoughts align with my purpose, or did I allow fear to lead? You will find that reflection refines the mind as polishing sharpens steel. Repetition of this practice plants new rhythm in the subconscious, and in time, right thinking becomes as automatic as breathing. Andrew Carnegie built an empire that employed thousands, yet he often said that his true labor was mental. When markets wavered and men around him panicked, he would sit in stillness, reviewing causes, never reacting to noise. His composure was his fortress. He understood that order in thought creates order in life. When others saw crisis, he saw adjustment. When others saw loss, he saw instruction. And because of this mental stability, fortune flowed toward him as surely as rivers flow toward the sea. You too must build that inner fortress. The world around you may be in motion, but within you must be still. Every day that you replace fear with understanding, you rebuild one stone of your inner structure. The mind, once reconstructed in truth, becomes unshakable. It no longer bends to circumstance. It bends circumstance itself. Understand the law of autosuggestion, for it is the architect of all reconstruction. The words you repeat daily, the images you hold, the emotions you permit, these are the blueprints of your life. The subconscious mind does not reason, it receives. If you feed it doubt, it will obey by creating delay. If you feed it faith, it will obey by creating opportunity. The subconscious is the silent builder of destiny. Imagine your mind as a workshop. In this workshop, every tool is a thought. Doubt dulls them, faith sharpens them, complaint rusts them, gratitude preserves them. The worker within, your subconscious, cannot choose the tools. It simply uses what you provide. Therefore, see to it that only right material is supplied. Each morning, picture your life rebuilt. See yourself standing calm, strong, prosperous, at peace. Do not wish for it. See it. Act as though it were already formed in the unseen. The more vivid your image, the faster the subconscious obeys. The universe is responsive to clear command. Say often, I command my thoughts. My faith rebuilds my life. My mind is my kingdom. Say it until it no longer feels like repetition. but revelation. The moment your own words begin to stir feeling within, the reconstruction has begun. Emotion is the energy that gives thought form. Others will begin to perceive the change before you speak of it. They will notice steadiness in your manner, quietness in your eyes, confidence in your tone. They will feel that something invisible has strengthened you. What they are seeing is the alignment of thought and belief. True strength requires no announcement. It radiates naturally. When you have rebuilt your mind, you will no longer depend upon encouragement. You will become your own source of faith. The opinions of others will lose power over you because your approval will come from within. The one who commands his mind commands his destiny. Do not think that you must remove all fear at once. It is enough to replace one weak thought with one strong one each day. As light gradually drives out darkness, faith gradually dissolves fear. The important thing is constancy. The mind learns through repetition as water shapes rock through persistence. If you falter, begin again. Every return to faith strengthens it. The man who trains his thought daily becomes invincible, for no circumstance can conquer the one who has learned to think correctly. He may lose position, but not purpose. He may lose wealth, but not will. And so long as he thinks in harmony with truth, his recovery is inevitable. There will come a day when you will look back upon this struggle and bless it, for it forced you to discover the workshop within. It compelled you to become your own builder, your own healer, your own teacher. That discovery is worth more than any possession you once lost. Understand clearly, before a man can rebuild his world, he must first rebuild his mind. The mind is the mold of life. Change the mold, and the form must follow. The outer is the shadow of the inner. The man who thinks with precision cannot live in confusion. Now take your notebook and write upon its first page a single declaration. From this day, I think only thoughts that serve my purpose. I am calm, deliberate, and unafraid. My mind is the source of my comeback. Read it every morning and night until the words become part of you. As you do, ideas will begin to arrive, quietly at first, then more frequently. Each idea will be a step in the staircase of your return. Infinite intelligence will use your faith as its signal. The more definite your thought, the clearer the response. You will begin to see order where others see chaos. Opportunities that once seemed hidden will appear as if unveiled. You will meet those who share your vibration of confidence and vision. This is no miracle, it is law. The outer world reflects the inner one. Hold steadfast to this truth. Thought is the first movement of creation. When you think rightly, you align with the very force that governs stars and seasons. That power cannot fail you if you do not fail it. Faith, held through uncertainty, transforms uncertainty into form. The world may still doubt you. Let it. Their doubt will become your proof. The man who holds his belief against opposition multiplies his power. The mind that refuses to surrender to circumstance draws from an unseen source that never tires. Your reconstruction is underway. You have begun to clear the ruins, to lay the foundation of faith, to design with precision. Continue until your thought becomes your reality. For thought, when persisted in with belief, becomes law made visible. Before a man can rebuild his world, he must rebuild his mind. You are doing that now. And as the mind rises, so too shall everything that depends upon it. Your confidence, your fortune, your peace. You are no longer the same. You are the builder awakening within his own creation. You are the thinker reclaiming dominion over his world. The walls of limitation are falling, and the pillars of purpose are being raised. Now that your mind is rebuilt, the time has come to awaken the force that carries dreams into reality, your burning desire. There comes a point in every man's reconstruction when faith alone is not enough. Faith gives direction, but desire gives it life. Faith builds the plan, but desire provides the fire that moves the plan into action. Without desire, the finest mind lies dormant, like an engine without fuel. It is desire, definite, burning, and disciplined, that transforms knowledge into power, thought into progress, and faith into achievement. Every great comeback begins with this single spark, an idea so alive in the imagination that it refuses to die. A man may be stripped of wealth, comfort, or opportunity, but if he still possesses desire, he is still rich. For nothing can destroy a man whose heart burns with purpose. The force of desire, when guided by faith, becomes the magnet that draws all necessary people, ideas, and events into alignment. When Henry Ford first conceived the idea of building a motor for the common man, he was surrounded by mockery. The world said, "It cannot be done." He smiled, for his desire had already accomplished it in his mind. When he was forced into bankruptcy, he did not see failure. He saw a foundation. When his first models broke down, he saw improvement. His desire was so definite that doubt could find no place to dwell. Thomas Edison worked through night after night, hands trembling, eyes weary, yet his mind fixed on light. The world slept while he labored, not for fame, but because his desire commanded him. When asked why he continued after thousands of failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I have discovered thousands of ways that will not work." That is burning desire. It does not measure time. It measures progress. Abraham Lincoln, when defeated for public office time and again, held one thought that sustained him, that his purpose was greater than his comfort. Desire kept his faith alive when logic might have quit. It made him humble but never hopeless. That desire carried him from obscurity to immortality. And so must your desire carry you now. For you cannot rise with half a heart. You must decide what you want so completely that it consumes hesitation. The moment you do, infinite intelligence begins to organize unseen forces on your behalf. Thought mixed with emotion becomes faith, and faith mixed with action becomes power. There is a law in the universe that nothing resists the man who moves with clear purpose and unbroken desire, the timid wish but the determined command, the timid hope but the determined expect. Desire is the difference between those who dream and those who build. Now take your pen and write what you will become within the next year. Not what you might become, but what you will. Write it clearly, concisely, and with certainty. Then read it every morning before you begin your work and every night before you sleep. As you do, emotion will awaken faith, and faith will begin to transform your thought into form. Write something like this: "By the end of this year, I will have restored my confidence, regained my strength, and established prosperity through my definite purpose. I will not retreat until it is accomplished. I live each day as if success were already mine." This declaration, repeated with belief, becomes your blueprint. Each repetition strengthens the bond between thought and subconscious action. The world around you will begin to respond as though drawn to an invisible current. The people you need will appear. The doors you require will open, and the energy you lacked will return tenfold. Desire is not mere emotion. It is the concentrated will of the Spirit. It is the flame that makes men rise from obscurity to influence, from failure to power. But understand this law: desire must be definite. A scattered desire produces scattered results. The mind must hold one central image, one clear goal, and feed it with daily attention. Say aloud, "I hold a burning desire that cannot be denied. My faith is the fire that turns thought into form." Speak it until you feel a physical response, until your heart quickens, your breath deepens, your mind clears. That is the energy of life awakening within you. Every time you allow doubt to linger, the flame of desire flickers. Every time you reaffirm your purpose, it brightens. Protect your flame as you would guard a precious lamp in the wind. Avoid those who pour water on your fire through cynicism or complaint. Keep your mind focused upon the end result, not the obstacles between. Desire must be emotionalized daily. This means you must not only think of your purpose, but feel it. Imagine it as already done. See yourself walking in the world you have built. Hear the sounds, feel the atmosphere, experience the gratitude. The subconscious mind accepts what it feels as real. When faith and emotion unite, the universe obeys. You may ask, how long must I hold this desire? Until it holds you. When your purpose becomes so definite that you cannot escape it even in rest, then you are near the threshold of transformation. Every great man has known this possession by purpose, when the dream takes control of the dreamer. That is when genius awakens. Carnegie once told me that his fortune was inevitable the moment he stopped thinking of money as his goal and began to think of service as his duty. His desire was not for gold, but for efficiency. Because his desire served the law of progress, it was blessed by abundance. Let your desire, too, serve something larger than yourself, and the law will reward you beyond measure. If your motive is pure, if your burning desire lifts others as it lifts you, then your comeback will not only be swift, but sustained. For selfish desire fades with satisfaction, but purpose-driven desire renews itself with every achievement. Do not be discouraged by slow results. The universe does not move by haste, it moves by order. Each day that you persist, unseen forces are arranging conditions for your success. The roots grow before the bloom appears. The farmer who plants does not dig the soil each day to check the seed. He waters and waits, knowing the law cannot fail him. You too must plant your desire, water it with faith, and protect it with persistence. You need not see results at once. You need only know they are certain. Faith is the assurance of rhythm, the confidence that what you have sown must, by law, yield according to its kind. The man of burning desire cannot remain unknown. His energy creates light that others cannot ignore. People are drawn to him, opportunities appear around him, and the impossible begins to yield. They will say of you, something about him has changed. They will not see the inner fire, but they will feel its warmth. The timid will admire your certainty. The doubtful will borrow your strength. Without saying a word, you will become a source of confidence to others. Your faith will spread silently, and you will find that life itself seems to lean in your direction. This is the hidden reward of burning desire. It magnetizes the world around you. If you have lost your ambition, reignite it now. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what do I want so deeply that failure can no longer frighten me? Wait for the answer. It will not come as noise, but as knowing. That quiet certainty, that idea that returns again and again, is your destiny calling you to act. Nurture that idea as you would a sacred flame. Each day feed it with thought, protect it with discipline, and express gratitude for it as though it were already yours. Desire backed by faith never dies. It only waits for command. Repeat this daily. I live with purpose. My desire is definite. My thoughts are clear. I move toward my goal with faith. Let this become the rhythm of your existence. The repetition will engrave certainty into your mind until doubt itself becomes impossible. You may think you are preparing for your comeback, but in truth it has already begun. The instant your desire became definite, the universe began its motion toward your fulfillment. Every circumstance since that moment is part of the arrangement. Nothing is wasted, nothing is out of place. Remember always, the world yields not to talent alone, but to persistence guided by burning desire. The one who desires strongly enough will find a way, while those who lack it will find excuses. The difference between failure and success is not opportunity. It is intensity of purpose. Desire is the soul of all progress. It transforms the ordinary man into a leader, the worker into an inventor, the student into a master. When you live by it, you will rise beyond fatigue, discouragement, and rejection, because your purpose will outlast them all. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Begin where you stand, with what you have, and build as you go. The first step taken in faith ignites all others. The flame of desire does not need ideal surroundings. It creates them. And when you have kindled this fire within, remember this truth. Desire without persistence is a flame without fuel. Now that your mind and your desire are united, the next step is to sustain this fire through discipline and rhythm until nothing can extinguish it. For the world does not reward beginnings, it rewards endurance. And so we move forward into the next great law, the discipline of endurance. There comes a time, even for the man of burning desire, when the flame flickers, when the results do not appear, when fatigue whispers, when faith feels distant, and the mind wonders if the law has forgotten him. It is in this silent space between planting and harvest that destiny performs its greatest test. For desire ignites the beginning, but only endurance completes the journey. Discipline is the invisible bridge between intention and reality. It is not a word of restraint, but of liberation. The man who governs his habits governs his future. Every empire ever built, every invention ever born, every triumph ever achieved was the offspring of discipline held through uncertainty. You must learn to walk steadily when others run frantically. You must continue to sow while others despair that the soil is barren. The law rewards the man who keeps rhythm when the world around him breaks tempo. For persistence is faith in motion. It is obedience to purpose when emotion has gone silent. Edison understood this law. There were nights when he failed 100 times before sunrise, yet he continued, not through excitement, but through rhythm. His endurance was not dramatic, it was patient. He knew that nature never violates law, and that every experiment, however fruitless, carried him closer to discovery. His was the peace of the disciplined mind, the quiet certainty that repetition is the secret of mastery. When Abraham Lincoln faced ridicule, defeat, and the death of those he loved, he did not withdraw from life. He worked quietly, shaping himself through the very hardships that others pitied. His greatness was not born of speeches, but of self-control. When anger came, he wrote letters he never sent. When despair came, he read them and learned. Discipline made him steady enough to lead a nation torn by its own chaos. Andrew Carnegie spent 10 years organizing steel production before the first great fortune appeared. He called patience the test of faith. He once said that a man who cannot work without applause will never build anything worth applauding. He meant that endurance must become its own reward. The man who can keep to his rhythm without needing praise is the man the world eventually follows. And now I say this to you: endurance is not stubbornness. It is faith under pressure. It is order obeyed without wavering. It is the rhythm of purpose maintained through seasons of doubt. You will know you have found discipline when you act not by mood but by decision, not by convenience but by law. When fatigue sets in, the undisciplined man seeks escape. The disciplined man seeks structure. Fatigue is not a sign to quit, it is a call to organize energy. The body tires when thought is scattered, but the man who directs every motion toward his purpose finds strength even in exhaustion. Discipline aligns energy with aim. Each day's small obedience adds invisible weight to your strength. The one who reads 10 pages thinks 10 minutes, plans 1 hour, and finishes what he begins. These small acts accumulate like bricks in the temple of success. No single act may seem great, yet together they form an unbreakable habit. Habit is destiny solidified. When doubt speaks, let decision answer. When fear rises, let routine command. For the one who has a definite schedule is never lost. A disciplined hour is stronger than an undisciplined week. Choose 1 hour each day that belongs to your comeback. Guard it as a sacred appointment with destiny. During that hour, shut out distraction. Write your goals, plan your day, study your principles. Speak your affirmations aloud as a soldier recites his oath. Let this be your hour of discipline. Even if you achieve nothing else, this one habit will carry you through storms. The man who owns one consistent hour eventually owns his life. Say to yourself, I will persist until I prevail. I will obey my purpose until life obeys me. Say it when you feel strong. Say it when you feel weak. Words repeated in weakness grow roots that hold you when strength returns. Discipline is not about what you do when inspired. It is what you continue when inspiration sleeps. When delay stretches long, remind yourself that the seed does not complain in the soil. It trusts the process of unseen growth. You are that seed. Every day you persist, roots are forming. They grow quietly, invisibly, until one day they burst forth with unstoppable force. The impatient dig up their seed and wonder why it does not bloom. The disciplined water and wait. I have seen men lose everything but their persistence, and from that persistence rebuild fortunes greater than before. I have seen others lose nothing but patience, and from that loss never recover. The difference between despair and triumph is simply who stays long enough for the law to work. The rhythm of discipline transforms the man himself. His walk steadies, his tone deepens, his eyes grow calm. Others sense reliability and are drawn to it. They trust the man who finishes what he begins, for he proves mastery not in speech but in steadiness. Discipline is silent authority. It speaks without words. You will begin to notice that the world adjusts to your rhythm. Where once you were tossed by circumstance, now you move as the tide moves, predictable, powerful, relentless. The disciplined man becomes the center of order in any environment. Chaos exists around him, but never within him. When adversity returns, and it will, meet it as an old friend. Thank it for testing your endurance. Tell it that you have learned its lessons. No longer will hardship surprise you. It will merely remind you to tighten your rhythm. The storm cannot unseat the one who has learned to move with it. Let no one persuade you that persistence is outdated. The tools may change, the world may move faster, but the law remains. Success still belongs to those who finish. The one who persists quietly will outlast the one who rushes loudly. The mountain yields not to noise, but to continuous effort. Discipline is devotion. It is faith made visible through habit. It is prayer expressed through repetition. Each morning you rise at the same hour, read the same principles, speak the same affirmations, and perform the same tasks, not because they are new, but because they are true. That is how the subconscious learns obedience. That is how success becomes certainty. Do not seek motivation, seek rhythm. Motivation fades when the day grows hard, but rhythm continues regardless of weather. When a man lives by rhythm, his progress becomes inevitable. Each repetition becomes momentum, and momentum becomes mastery. The universe itself is rhythmic. The planets move in order. The seasons arrive in sequence. Even your breath follows rhythm. Inhalation, exhalation, pause, renewal. To live in discipline is to live in harmony with the same law that governs all creation. That harmony is power. When you master this rhythm, fatigue becomes familiar but harmless. You will learn to rest without quitting, to pause without stopping. You will work when others complain, think when others despair, act when others delay. Each act of endurance brings you closer to peace, because peace is not the absence of action, but the mastery of it. Persistence also refines the spirit. It purifies motive. In the beginning, you may act for reward, but through discipline, you learn to act for principle. When you no longer require applause, your power multiplies tenfold. The one who endures without needing recognition becomes unstoppable, for he draws strength not from circumstance, but from within. Carnegie once said, "I would rather have the habit of persistence than a fortune, for a fortune without persistence soon disappears." He knew that the disciplined man will always rebuild. Fortune may fluctuate, but habit remains, and habit recreates fortune. You will find, as discipline becomes natural, that fear disappears. Fear thrives in uncertainty, but the man of rhythm fears nothing, because he controls the hours that others waste. He knows that each task completed, each decision made, is another step toward dominion. Discipline gives the mind no room for fear. If the path feels long, remember this: a year of persistence can accomplish what 10 years of indecision cannot. Most men spend decades circling opportunity because they never finish what they start. But the one who persists saves time, saves energy, saves life itself. In your quiet hour, when no one sees you, when no applause is offered, remind yourself, this is where greatness is forged. Public victory is born in private discipline. The world celebrates the result, but seldom sees the repetition. You will therefore learn to celebrate repetition itself. Say quietly, I honor the small act done well. I value the unseen effort. I persist because I have decided to win. Let that become your meditation when weariness appears. When the mind rebels, remind it gently who is master. You may whisper aloud, you are my servant, not my ruler. The body will soon follow, the senses will obey. For man was never meant to be driven by appetite or emotion, but by decision. Discipline restores rightful order to the kingdom within. And when others doubt you, remain silent. Discipline does not argue, it proves. The day will come when those who questioned your endurance will ask for your guidance. For the man who finishes his course becomes the teacher of all who falter. Let endurance become your signature. Let steadiness become your character. When adversity strikes again, as it surely will, meet it with the quiet smile of one who has seen this battle before and knows its outcome. For discipline guarantees victory in time. Each act of endurance refines not only achievement, but identity. You will look in the mirror one morning and realize that you no longer recognize the man you once were. Where there was hesitation, there is decisiveness. Where there was doubt, there is calm. Where there was fatigue, there is quiet strength. Others will see it too. They will feel safety in your presence, confidence in your word. You will become the man whose composure steadies a room, whose patience commands respect, whose reliability inspires trust. This is the unspoken power of discipline. It makes a man magnetic. As you persist, you will come to understand that discipline is not merely for survival, it is for peace. To be disciplined is to be free from inner conflict. The undisciplined man is torn between impulse and intention. The disciplined man is whole. His thought, word, and action move as one. Continue until persistence becomes your second nature. Continue until obedience to purpose becomes as effortless as breathing. Continue until your routine becomes ritual and your effort becomes ease. That is mastery. And now, as your endurance matures into certainty, a new realization will dawn, that your inner order has begun to command your outer world. Circumstance no longer dictates your condition, you dictate to circumstance. The next stage of your journey awaits, for once a man has mastered himself, he becomes the master of his environment. You have proven strength. You have learned rhythm. You have built faith into habit and habit into character. You are ready for dominion, not over others, but over the forces that once controlled you. And so we move forward to the next great revelation, the mastery of circumstance. For the man who has conquered himself can now command his world. There comes a moment when the inner battle has been won, when the storm within has been silenced, and the man stands upright, no longer fighting himself, but directing the world around him through calm authority. This is the point of dominion. The victory of the mind over itself is only the beginning. From it arises the power to master circumstance, to bend external conditions to the rhythm of one's organized will. Circumstance is not a jailer, but a mirror. It does not imprison you. It reflects your inner order or confusion. When a man is ruled by fear, his environment becomes threatening. When he is ruled by faith, the same world becomes obedient. The outer always arranges itself according to the tone of the inner. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, Every feeling you entertain sends its vibration outward and organizes matter, opportunity, and even men into harmony or disarray. The weak believe that life happens to them. The wise know that life happens through them. You are not a leaf carried by the wind. You are the wind itself. If you do not like the direction of your world, change the direction of your thought. The one who commands himself commands fate. This law is as definite as gravity. The man who allows fear to dominate will find fear in every encounter. The one who cultivates peace attracts peace from all directions. The man who moves with confidence finds that doors open before he knocks. Others will call it luck, but it is law. The inner vibration of thought always precedes the outer event. Rockefeller understood this truth. When panic struck the markets and men lost fortunes overnight, he remained seated in his office, calm as stone. He would listen to the frantic noise around him, close his eyes, and think. His mind did not react, it directed. When others sold in fear, he bought in faith. His composure became his advantage. While others drowned in emotion, he navigated by reason. That was not chance. That was mastery. Mastery of circumstance begins with the mastery of reaction. The man who can delay his reaction controls his destiny. He observes rather than obeys. He studies rather than surrenders. Each delay between impulse and action is a moment of power. Emotion ungoverned acts rashly, but emotion under observation becomes energy for creation. The disciplined thinker no longer asks, "What will happen to me?" but "What can I cause to happen?" The question alone shifts him from victim to victor. The mind that directs instead of reacts is already in possession of dominion. This mastery expresses itself through three spheres: thought, speech, and action. The first sphere, thought, is the foundation. Thought is the architect of destiny, and every circumstance is a blueprint drawn in the mind before it appears in matter. When thought becomes calm, clear, and ordered, confusion dissolves. A man who can hold one idea with faith will see the world organize itself around that idea. The second sphere is speech. Words are the instruments of command. The careless speak idly and invite chaos. The wise speak deliberately and call order into being. Speak less, but when you speak, mean every word. The tongue of the calm man builds, the tongue of the anxious man destroys. Speak prosperity, and the subconscious mind obeys. Speak peace, and the nervous system aligns with it. Words are seeds. Plant only what you wish to reap. The third sphere is reaction, the silent test of all mastery. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can always control your response. When insulted, remain composed. When delayed, remain patient. When challenged, remain confident. Every controlled response adds power to your being. Every uncontrolled reaction drains it. The one who remains calm in adversity is already commanding it. Imagine walking through a storm with unshaken composure. Rain falls, winds roar, yet you walk as though guided by invisible protection. That image is not fantasy. It is a symbol of mental mastery. The storm does not cease because of your calmness. It simply loses its power to disturb. And when the storm finds no weakness to exploit, it passes. Practice this composure in daily affairs. When irritation arises, smile inwardly. When delays occur, turn inward to gratitude. When disappointment visits, thank it for its lesson. These small victories accumulate into unbreakable strength. You cannot control the weather, but you can control the climate of your mind. And in time, that inner climate alters the outer one. Do not mistake calmness for weakness. It is the highest form of strength. The lion who roars in panic wastes his energy. The one who waits, observing, chooses the perfect moment to strike. The man of composure does not lose time in reaction. He converts adversity into instruction and opposition into opportunity. Andrew Carnegie demonstrated this principle when competitors sought to ruin his operations. Instead of retaliating in haste, he studied them. He learned their methods, predicted their failures, and turned their attacks into advantages. He said, "The best defense is to outthink, not outshout." His calm mind became a fortress no enemy could penetrate. You too must build such a fortress, not made of stone or money, but of self-command. When you become immovable within, no force can overthrow you without. Circumstance bends to the one who remains firm in principle. The world respects the calm man. He may not be the loudest, but he is the one others look to when chaos reigns. People instinctively trust composure, for it signals knowledge of law. When you enter a room, carry silence as your authority. Let your demeanor speak before your mouth does. When you have mastered yourself, you will no longer need to convince anyone. Your presence will do it for you. This is the unseen advantage of mastery. It creates an atmosphere of command. Those around you sense it without understanding it. They defer to you naturally, not because of fear, but because order recognizes order. They feel at ease in your company because they are unconsciously drawn toward your rhythm. The man who has mastered himself becomes the anchor for others. In your climb back from defeat, this composure will be your greatest tool. It will guide negotiations, heal relationships, and attract opportunity. Where once you reacted impulsively, you will now act strategically. Where once you spoke defensively, you will now speak with measured certainty. This transformation will not go unnoticed. Those who once doubted you will begin to respect you. Those who once overlooked you will begin to seek you. You will learn to practice emotional economy, saving your energy for creation rather than complaint. Anger, gossip, worry, and self-pity are leaks in the reservoir of power. Seal them. Every ounce of energy saved from reaction becomes available for achievement. The man who does not waste energy on trivial emotion accumulates silent momentum that others mistake for luck. Begin each day with a brief silence. Sit quietly for a few minutes before the world makes its demands. Breathe deeply and declare, "Today, nothing outside me shall command me. I am master of thought, speech, and reaction." This daily decree fortifies the mind against the world's distractions. Understand that mastery is not a single event, it is a rhythm. You will fail at times. You will lose temper, feel doubt, or slip into old habits. That is not defeat, that is correction. Every return to self-control strengthens it. The more often you return, the shorter the distance back to calm. Soon the interval between disturbance and recovery becomes so brief that even you will marvel at your steadiness. Lincoln achieved such mastery through quiet reflection. When provoked by slander, he delayed response. When faced with crisis, he gathered counsel, but always reserved final thought for himself. He trusted the still voice within. That stillness guided a nation through division. It can guide you through any personal storm. Circumstance obeys confidence. The law of attraction is not mysticism. It is the natural gravitation of form toward focus. When your mind holds one definite purpose without wavering, the conditions to fulfill it must appear. Doubt scatters energy. Faith concentrates it. The more definite your thought, the more exact your results. Be deliberate in your associations. Every man you meet either contributes to or contaminates your rhythm. Surround yourself with those whose speech uplifts, whose presence inspires calm, whose actions mirror purpose. Avoid those who live by complaint. They are bankrupt in faith. As iron sharpens iron, so one disciplined mind strengthens another. When obstacles arise, and they will, meet them not with panic but with planning. Say to yourself, this too is law in motion. Ask, what is this situation teaching me? What adjustment must I make? Treat adversity as a message from infinite intelligence, not a punishment. The man who interprets his trials correctly never suffers defeat. He gathers instruction. This mindset transforms work into wisdom. The task that once frustrated you now becomes meditation. The delay that once angered you now refines your patience. The setback that once crushed you now reveals a better path. The world has not changed, your command of it has. Repeat often. Circumstance bends to my order. My calmness commands results. My reaction determines my outcome. Speak these words slowly, with breath and belief. Each repetition impresses discipline deeper into your subconscious. In time, your nervous system itself will obey these commands. As you master circumstance, pride may attempt to whisper that you have become superior. Reject it. True mastery is humble. The moment a man boasts of power, he has already lost it. The wise know that all power is borrowed from law. You are not the author of law. You are its obedient student. Power is sustained only by continued alignment. Remain grateful in your strength. Give thanks that you have learned order in a world of disorder. Use your calmness to lift others, not to lord over them. A word of steady encouragement to one who is struggling is a greater act of dominion than any conquest over circumstance. Remember this, your peace is proof of principle. It is the sign that you have entered harmony with infinite intelligence. That harmony attracts all else. Wealth, opportunity, relationships, all are drawn naturally to the man who radiates calm assurance. You need not chase them. They will find you. When you face your next test, and you will, remember Rockefeller, who sat quietly through market panic. Remember Lincoln, who endured slander with patience. Remember Edison, who smiled at failure. These men had learned the great secret, that mastery over self is mastery over all. And as you walk through life now, know this truth. The calm man leads not by command, but by example. His steadiness becomes the foundation upon which others build. He becomes a living demonstration of law. You have learned to command your thoughts, to guard your speech, to govern your reactions. You have become deliberate in association, patient in progress, and generous in understanding. The world around you now mirrors that growth. You are no longer moved by the storm. You move through it with grace. You have regained power over life, but there remains one more ascent, the final transformation of strength into legacy. For no man's mastery is complete until his peace uplifts others. No comeback is complete until the one who has risen becomes the reason another believes he can rise too. Let us move then from dominion to destiny, from personal mastery to the legacy of the comeback. There comes a moment when a man has climbed through struggle, endured through silence, mastered his thought, and steadied his world, and he stands at last in quiet triumph. Around him, life appears as it was before, the same streets, the same faces, the same tasks. Yet nothing is the same, for the man himself has changed. His vision has deepened, his heart has steadied, his mind has awakened. He has passed through defeat and discovered dominion. This is not the end of his journey, it is the beginning of his legacy. A true comeback does not end with recovery of fortune, it ends with the renewal of purpose. The riches gained through discipline are not meant to be hoarded, but transmitted. The wisdom forged in struggle is not for pride, but for service. The man who has risen from the depths holds within him the seed of a philosophy that can outlive his flesh. It is his sacred duty to plant that seed through thought, word, and example, that others may grow in its shade. Every great man of history who rose from failure left behind more than accomplishment. He left a principle. Ford built not only machines, but belief in efficiency and independence. Carnegie built not only steel, but opportunity through knowledge. Lincoln built not only unity, but faith in moral courage. Each turned personal struggle into a guiding philosophy that shaped generations after them. And so must you. The purpose of your rise was not your comfort, but your contribution. You were broken not for destruction, but for instruction, so that you might one day teach others to endure. The comeback you build is not for your applause, but for their awakening. The highest victory is to lift others by the light of your example. Every man leaves behind an atmosphere, a trail of thought, a spiritual inheritance that influences those who come after him. The disciplined mind leaves order. The drifting mind leaves confusion. The grateful man leaves faith. The bitter man leaves fear. Consider what your life will whisper when your voice is silent. Will your days echo with complaint, or will they resound with calm assurance that faith never fails? To build a lasting legacy, begin by recording your lessons. Each evening, write not the events of the day, but the principles discovered within them. Write what tested you, what steadied you, what strengthened you. Over time, these reflections will form a personal philosophy, the map of your inner journey. Someday, another may find that map and use it to climb from their own valley. Do not wait for an audience to share your wisdom. Influence begins quietly, as example, as conduct, as tone. The calm man teaches peace without speech. The disciplined worker teaches order without lecture. The faithful thinker teaches hope through action. Long before you instruct, you inspire. Every time you choose patience instead of reaction, someone learns from you. Every time you act with honesty instead of haste, someone sees proof of law. You may never know the full extent of your impact, but you will feel it in the silent respect of those around you. For mastery commands reverence without demand. If you would ensure that your peace continues after you, live by principles, not by pride. Wealth fades, possessions pass, but truth once demonstrated endures. The man who lives in harmony with law becomes immortal through influence. His name may vanish, but his example remains. You now understand the secret of dominion, that all control begins within and radiates outward. But understand also this: mastery once achieved must be maintained. The mind, like a muscle, weakens when neglected. The spirit, like a flame, dims when unfed. To preserve the strength you have gained, you must renew it daily through study, reflection, and repetition. Read great books, not once but many times. Hear great speeches often. Return to the words that once awakened you, for each reading meets you at a higher level of understanding. The first time you hear truth, it stirs your curiosity. The second time, it strengthens your conviction. The third time, it becomes part of your character. Repetition is the mother of transformation. Every man who has attained mastery became a student of repetition. Edison studied the same formulas until they became intuition. Lincoln reread timeless texts until they shaped his tone. Carnegie listened to the same principles until they became reflex. They did not chase novelty, they cultivated depth. The mind that seeks new wisdom without practicing old truth becomes a collector of facts but a stranger to power. So I tell you, listen again to the great speeches that stir your heart. Read again the books that teach law. Do not pass them by once as a traveler glances at scenery. Return to them as one who tills sacred ground. For each time you revisit truth, it reveals more of itself. You will find that a single sentence read in calm reflection can yield more guidance than 100 pages rushed through in haste. The difference lies not in the words, but in the readiness of your mind to receive them. A man grows into truth as a tree grows toward light, slowly, steadily, through daily nourishment. Study daily. Even 10 minutes devoted to reflection each morning is worth more than hours of distraction. The man who feeds his mind daily guards against drifting. He keeps his compass true. The world changes, but law remains. By revisiting the principles of order, faith, and purpose each day, you remain aligned with the rhythm of infinite intelligence. This habit of study will not only preserve your strength, it will multiply it. Knowledge revisited deepens into wisdom. Wisdom practiced becomes character. And character is the true legacy of every great life. Imagine your children, your friends, your companions watching how you face adversity. When they see you meet challenge with calmness, they will inherit that courage. When they see you speak gently in provocation, they will inherit that composure. The energy you express becomes the unseen curriculum of every mind you touch. You are building not only a comeback, but a lineage of thought. The calm you demonstrate will ripple through others long after you are gone. The words you speak today may one day return to you through the mouths of those you inspired. Influence moves in circles, not lines. The peace you give now becomes the peace you receive later. Repeat this daily. Through my strength, others find courage. Through my faith, others find direction. Let this become both prayer and purpose. Each repetition deepens your sense of responsibility to the unseen chain of humanity to which you belong. You are one link in that chain. What you forge today strengthens those who follow. Do not think legacy belongs only to kings or scholars. Every man leaves influence. The quiet worker who does his duty with faith leaves as much moral wealth as the magnate who builds monuments. The law does not measure size. It measures sincerity. To live rightly is to live greatly. And when you falter, return again to your studies. Open the books that first lit your mind. Listen again to the words that once moved your soul. Each time you will discover something new, not because the text has changed, but because you have. The same truth speaks differently to a wiser ear. Let learning be your lifelong companion. Do not pass a single day without feeding the mind. As the body weakens without nourishment, so too does the spirit decline without knowledge. The man who ceases to learn ceases to grow, and the man who ceases to grow begins to drift. Guard against drift as you would guard against disease. The cure is daily study, deliberate thought, and quiet reflection. Begin each morning by recalling one principle you have learned. Write it on paper, say it aloud, and plan how to live it that day. In the evening, ask whether you obeyed it. This simple habit transforms knowledge into life. The truths you revisit will soon guide you instinctively. As you grow in wisdom, you will find that repetition becomes pleasure. What once felt like discipline becomes devotion. The pages of great books will feel like familiar friends. The words of great speeches will echo in your thoughts as counsel. In their company, you will never feel alone. And when doubt returns, as it always does, you will know where to go. You will not wander aimlessly, for you have built within yourself a library of truth, a treasury of conviction. Each time you reread, you polish your own mind. Each time you re-listen, you renew your strength. That is how faith stays alive, not through novelty, but through return. You may think, I have heard these principles before. Yet I tell you, the greatest minds never tire of first principles. They know that all success, spiritual, material, and moral, springs from a few eternal laws practiced without cease: desire, faith, decision, discipline, and service. These laws never age, never weaken, never fail. The one who masters them once and revisits them daily will surpass those who chase 1,000 lesser ideas. Every day, remind yourself that repetition is mastery. The pianist does not play new scales each day. He repeats the same. The craftsman does not change his hammer. He perfects his swing. The thinker does not invent new truths. He refines his understanding of eternal ones. Mastery is repetition made conscious. Through this devotion, your influence will extend beyond your presence. Men will speak of your composure, of your reliability, of your certainty. They will say, he is a man who cannot be shaken. And long after they forget your words, they will remember how you made them feel. Calm, capable, certain. That feeling will become your legacy. If you wish to leave more, teach others how to think. Encourage them to study as you studied, to read as you read, to reflect as you reflect. The gift of method is greater than the gift of result. Teach them that life's power flows through thought, and that every man can rebuild himself by law. In that teaching, you will live forever. And when you feel weary, remember the promise that has guided this entire journey. By thinking deliberately, by obeying the laws of faith, discipline, and repetition, you will save 10, 20, even 30 years of wasted wandering. You will accomplish in 1 decade what the drifting man fails to achieve in 3. That is the reward of conscious living. Your comeback, then, is not a return to what was. It is the birth of what is greater. The man you were has served his purpose. The man you have become will serve others. Your faith will inspire faith. Your calm will create calm. Your mastery will multiply itself through every life you touch. In this, you fulfill the highest purpose of existence, to know law, to live it, and to pass it on. For truth does not belong to one. It belongs to all who practice it. And when you live it so fully that your life itself becomes instruction, you have reached immortality of influence. Continue your study. Continue your reflection. Continue your repetition. Each day you do, the rhythm of law deepens in your spirit. Each day you think deliberately, your legacy expands. You are no longer a seeker. You are a living principle. You are tested not to break, but to awaken. You have risen from confusion into command, from defeat into dominion, from effort into ease. You have become living proof that no fall is final, no loss permanent, no delay wasted. And now the world waits, not for your words, but for your example. Walk calmly, act deliberately, serve faithfully, and let your presence teach what no lecture could. The comeback of your life is not a moment. It is a movement that will echo through all who meet you. You have mastered yourself. You have mastered your world. And in doing so, you have given others permission to rise. That is your legacy. And when you look back years from now, you will see that your greatest victory was not that you overcame the world, but that you understood it. And by understanding, you mastered it through peace. The world rushes, but you will walk. The world fears, but you will believe. The world forgets, but you will remember. For you have learned the rhythm of infinite intelligence, and that rhythm will carry you through every season of life. Return to this message whenever your faith weakens. Listen again when your fire dims. Each time you do, you will feel its truth more deeply, for each time you will have become more. This is the law of growth. Repetition reveals revelation. The student who returns daily becomes the master. The listener who revisits truth becomes the teacher. You were tested and you triumphed. You were broken and you built. You were lost and you found the path within. You have lived the greatest law of all, that no defeat is final until you accept it, and no victory fades when you live by it. You have become the proof that faith held through persistence leads every man from darkness into light. You are the legacy of your own comeback, and through your calm, your faith, and your example, others will find their own.